The voice of sharing, Durian
The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
Hey, this is Arlene.
Hi, this is Grace.
And of course, you are with us at our Durian Heat, where we bring you discussion on Southeast Asia, but this time we discuss more about Malaysia. We are going to talk to a founder of a company. It's a very interesting company, focuses on social innovation. And of course, with us is the founder, Team Fernandez. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
So you are the founder of this company called Live and Inspire.
Yes, I am.
Sounds like a motivational speaking company.
Very far from it.
So let's just start with your brief background of yourself and also the company, how you started.
The company is about 8 years old. We started off in with 2 people, and it's grown ever since. How it started off is it's a pretty interesting story because
Too frustrated guy working in a corporate company.
No, it was actually me who got fired from a previous company.
Oh,
wow.
I got fired from a company, and so my boss, long story short, basically kind of felt threatened on what I did.
right.
and he fired me for some reason, and I just took on upon myself to decide to build a company ever since. And the previous company that I was fired from was a training and development company.
She's an irony, right?
Yeah, it was an irony. And I think the protest I had in that is that we run trainings, we run leadership trainings, but we're not really an embodiment of what we run. And I kind of saw a gap in that, and I wanted to build a company where you are the same person at work, and you're the same person running the training. You're basically the embodiment of what you preach. That's hence the company Live and then Inspire.
Is it something that you've always wanted to establish a company you can create a culture, or is it something that you realized throughout your experiences in the companies before?
I realized over the years. I think I when I started working, I worked in a bank. It's the same thing. I went on to another training company, and I think and it's not so much something that people said that, I want to make sure that you're a different person at work, and I think it's just the culture.
Right.
And I think it's about being aware that there is a culture and we can break that culture.
And the current corporate culture in Malaysia, in most of the companies, maybe not all, does all these companies, right, do they establish a certain kind of character or structure where you have to be this type of person regardless who you are outside?
Yeah, I think it's logical to establish that, because you want to get work done, and you need some form of structure to guide the conduct of how you get work done. But I think in the process of doing that, you should help integrate the person, not disintegrate the person. Many a times, if someone wants to work in a sales-driven company, but I'm not sales-driven, I don't get. I'm not really moved by targets. Then it's a different fit. But I can come into the company and learn that and somehow develop that, and and that can be nurturing for me in a bigger picture, and it can be nurturing for the company as well. So I think there's no right and wrong to this.
Right.
It's just that how do I work with people who want to be more integrated in how they live.
Right. And also make maybe the working environment less hostile in a
Yeah.
way, more
Yeah.
harmonious, and you still get the work done, but not in a cat fight sort of way.
It is very interesting because, I mean, even in my experience, right, I see a lot of my colleagues and friends who tell me that, you know, I'm totally different person when it comes to work, and then when I'm with you, I'm different person. So then I did ask that person, you know, then who are you really?
and we because a human being is very multifaceted. You know, you're very multi-dimension. So you let certain people see certain parts of you at certain time.
True.
But sometimes that certain point of view still can relate to to you. You know, if I see Grace here, I somehow know that's Grace. It's not something that's projected onto me, you know. And I think that's what I can't stand. And I wanted to build a company where the culture will nurture that part of a person, you know. Not so much that you need to expose yourself, but so much that I'm actually meeting Grace, for example, you know.
So it's the Grace that you know.
Yeah, it's the Grace that I know. It's the Grace that it's the Grace. It's not something you picked up from the movies.
Right. Okay.
And you're projecting it on me. It's something that it's not a projection. You know, it can be something that you don't apply at work, but it's still Grace.
And the social innovation company that you have, Live and Inspire, is beyond just about trying to live an authentic life individually. It's also about trying to create something that is, I mean, either a product or a service or even a lifestyle that is authentic.
Yeah.
So why you have that goal in mind?
Because I lived the split life before. I found myself being a different person at work. I found myself being a different person at home. I found myself being different in an intimate relationship. So, and I couldn't stand it. And I said it's not a way. It's not a way to live. And I did a lot of research and found that the more authentic you are, the more unison you are, if however you perceive it, the less likely you will have the personality disorder, the split personality disorder. And I just finished listening to a talk over the weekend where the doctor said that there are 200 mental illnesses.
That's a lot of disorders.
You know, and there's so many symptoms, and I think some of us have some of those symptoms.
Right, for sure.
I mean, I saw myself in some of those symptoms, you know, or I saw how it could get worse if I had lived the life I lived, you know, many years ago. But I wanted to live the authentic life because I think that's your form of integrity. That's how you build your integrity, and things get really well. But honesty has a certain value to that word.
Yep.
Just being you has some essence to it. That's why I came up with a company called Live and Inspire, but not live and motivate, or I'm going to motivate myself. Sometimes motivation is not even real. You know, it stems from a word called motive in action. That's how motivation is formed. So, and it's always external. And I think if you don't live an authentic life, the possibility of influence over you is so much higher. It's so much higher. You're easily swayed. You're easily influenced to do something that really goes against you. That's why if you look at the word live and inspire, the effort happens in live. The work happens in live. Inspire is just an effect of how you live. So whether you do it with a brand, whether you do it with your people development, whether you do it with yourself, regardless of any segment of life, if you just live, that inspiration bit will happen. And the word inspire comes from the Latin word inspirare, which means to be in spirit. So if you're living, you are definitely in spirit. So
you sound like a sage now.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of thought that
Of course, I can feel that,
that.
and also I can also feel that, Tim, you went to a lot of struggles within yourself.
Yeah. But it's really interesting that you are making a comparison between what the difference between inspired or living authentically with the typical motivational talk or events or trainings that we always go. Even in today's world, right, there's an influx of companies setting up just to either giving people motivational talks or leadership training
Yep.
Yep.
or all this, making ourselves more motivated in life, I guess.
Like
or,
team building as well.
Or more
Yeah.
productive in the workplace. Do you think this is set to fail, or is actually counterproductive to even attend to all this?
I don't think it's set to fail, because sometimes if the training comes in at the right time and you're ready for it, it could initiate something. It could invoke something.
Right.
So I don't think it will fail. I think it's when you're receiving or when you're you encounter that training, you want to be able to be ready for that. So the embodiment happens almost instantaneously.
Right.
If I'm not ready for something and then I'm suddenly taking this in, it almost seems a violation to myself, because I'm not really ready to go and
So you
let's
ended
make
up
this
forcing
happen,
yourself.
Yeah. So I think the old saying is, when you're ready, the teacher appears. I really believe in that. So training works to some point, but I think it works when someone is really ready for it.
Right. And another question to that is, how do you sustain it? Meaning that you train this a group of people, so they got all inspired or motivated. But then, how long? How guarantee can you give the guarantee that person or group of people can sustain the motivation?
Yeah, and I think
and live with that.
Yeah, that's the biggest challenge for most corporates, because I send 30 people for training on leadership.
And they get inspired maybe for that day itself.
Like for a few days only, right?
Yeah. So it's really a temporary
exactly.
a temporary fix, So that's why I think, more than training, if you build a culture of awareness, you build a culture that gets people to work in intense state, when awareness is birthed, then I think it becomes more value added to the individual.
Right.
And then equipping the person with the skill, or to manage people, or whatever the skill you want to them to learn.
Anyway, we'll take one short break. When we return, we'll discuss more. What is Live and Inspire doing exactly?
The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
Hey, this is Arlene.
Welcome back, this is Grace.
And of course, you're still with us at the Durian Heat, where we discuss with Tim Fernandez on his company called Live and Inspire. But it's not just any other company, it's about creating social innovation.
All right.
And earlier on, we discussed a lot about, the importance of living authentically, either individually or in a collective manner. But for you guys, you started out this company, you also have this larger aim to ensure that it actually goes back to community, it benefits the community.
I think our larger aim is actually if it benefits the individual.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why our tagline is evoking transformation. But in the process of working with community, you grow. So the community is not really an end effect. It's the people within the community that is the end effect. So a lot of our work, if you realize, as much as we work with communities, building lots of community projects, and we work with corporates, we work to build community projects. It's really about the individual mending that. It's really about the individual receiving that part of the project. So it always goes down to the individual, and I think. What I realize, if it only takes one individual to realize that, hey, I can do more, I can be more, I can contribute more. If that happens, then the community benefits. So we really go down to to the smaller picture, not really the bigger picture for us. And that's why somehow when at work, when I get my staff to liaise with our clients, I always tell, although you work with a brand, you're really working with an individual.
True.
You know, if that individual sees and gets and somehow finds inspiration in the work you are doing, he can be an effect in his organization. He can start making a change in his family. He can start making a change in his community.
Right.
Because you affected one person.
And you don't work with any specific department, right? Because usually, you know, when you talk about social innovation, you probably work in the CSR department. But you guys work in any department that wants your help, right?
Yeah. A lot of departments. We have HR calling us in. We have marketing calling us in. We have branding calling us in. Because I think social innovation applies organizational wide, regardless of what segment you are in the organization. So they will call us in sometimes to brainstorm. They call us in sometimes to run trainings. They call us in sometimes to consult. Sometimes they call us in to run a whole campaign. But the whole idea is to bring a social impact in the process of executing what they want to execute, right? And in that social impact, why we mean a social impact is not necessarily a mass community, but the individuals within the community is what we're just trying to impact. And we really want to we don't really want to change lives, we just want to evoke that transformation.
Right.
Because I don't think it's up to us to change people's lives. I kind of think that's violating, because if the person is not really ready to change, or he doesn't really want to change, and you go and force it upon him, that's quite an influence to pay for. But if the person is ready for it and he wants to do it, and somehow the work that I do initiated something, an idea, a thought, an inspiration, then I've really done my job. You know, so that's why it's evoking transformation.
But then company Live and Inspire, don't you want to measure the influence that you've given to the society? And if there is any, how do you measure all those influences?
We don't really measure influence. To begin with, we are actually against influence. Because like I said earlier, you know, an influence can be a violating thing if the person is not ready for it. I think studies have shown, if you Google it on the internet, how advertisements bypass your conscious and hits your unconscious, and it happens so fast, so quick, so skillfully, without your permission, and it hits your subconscious, and suddenly you realize you're doing stuff that you're not really supposed to do.
Like buying the latest iPhone.
You know, so and sometimes these advertisements make you gullible, and you suddenly realize that's not really you. You know, so there's so much that hits your brain in terms of the subconscious that we don't even realize. So I think when we work with corporates, even that also, we become very clear with how we build things with them, and being conscious about what you're doing. So we know we can't measure. If you want to measure influence in a traditional aspect, like what's your reach, you know, how you've done that, I don't think you can do that with transformation.
I see.
Especially with an individual transformation, because you're always growing, and your transformation could be very different from your transformation.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So how do you measure that? I can run a campaign on kindness, and I could evoke various kinds of behaviors just through kindness. So.
But I think one transformation that probably we can measure is from one of your earliest project, which is I think a project collaboration with Starbucks and Live and Inspire
series.
Maybe you can share more about that and how it actually gained influence, although you don't like the word influence, from different
Inspire.
I think
different corporate awareness from different corporate figures as well as political figures.
Yeah, and also if you would love to share one of your episodes with us, that would be great.
The Live and Inspire series is just a platform we created by accident.
By accident.
I like that.
We wanted to promote. We wanted to create an awareness about our our conference,
Mm.
and somehow the series that we launched at a roadshow at Starbucks became more famous than our actual conference. And we decided, hey, let's just build this into a product. So the Live and Inspire series, the essence of it is it's a bite-sized, unconferenced, playful session that is supposed to provoke you to think slightly more than what you think life is about. If you think leadership is this is what it's about, somehow you will find someone standing on stage and saying, no, leadership is so much more than that.
Right.
If you think your life is so limited in terms of knowledge and how you perceive things, then there's going to be a speaker up there that's going to say, no, there's something more to this than life. So the unconference coffee session is basically to provoke that. That's our intent. If I can get you to think that there's more to life than what you're just doing, then I've done my job. That's why if you look at the Live and Inspire series, we feature people who talk about astrology, we feature people who talk about art, we feature people who do scuba diving and how they are using scuba diving to actually change
amazing.
the environment. And we have actually had KPMG come in to do that.
Wow.
And how they measure that, and it's interesting how he built that into a culture within KPMG. And then you have people who start off business and how they do it effectively, So there's not one way to be successful in life or to live a successful life.
Correct.
There are many ways to it, and it's just how authentic you embark on that, and in that process you evolve to become more you. And that's what we were trying to propagate.
So this at Starbucks now, you've had a few series already.
We ran over 70 weeks at Starbucks. 70 weeks is quite a long time.
So how has it been so far in terms of the feedback and from the audience?
We get mixed audience,
Right.
audience from the young. We don't have a profile of audience, and sometimes advertisers ask us, what's your profile of audience? And I say,
But that's the common question that you.
Yeah.
Always,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
even us, we've always been asked, like, are they the youngsters? Are they the oldies? But it's hard to pinpoint
it's
one.
very hard, especially in this day and age. Regardless of your age, you're looking at content. You can be 18 years old and you could be reading content.
Correct.
You could be 60 years old and you still could be reading content. And all that content could be health related, business related, venture capitals. There are many content, and it goes back to interest basically. So our profile of client participants vary based on the speakers. We realize if we bring the business-based speakers, then it's a different profile. If you bring the arts-based speakers, it's a different profile. If you have a band performing, it's a different profile.
It all depends on the interest also.
So we realized, hey, this could be quite fun then, and that's why we vary the speakers, because we said inspiration does not necessarily come through business. Does not necessarily come through someone who's made it big. Inspiration can come through music, can come through poetry, can come through so many things. Even astrology, you read, suddenly you realize, oh, that's some new knowledge, that I want to explore. It can come from any angle, and that's the point we wanted to put out,
So throughout this series, you managed to approach different group of people, basically. Yeah.
We've had Marina Madhi, and she was a great inspiration to be on the platform. We've had Azran. We've had Dato' Wahid when he was the Maybank head, and he spoke about leadership on a whole new level.
Wow.
We had Dian Vimal, the chairman of Friends to Mankind, and he spoke about transformation to humanity on a whole different level. So it can really vary in that sense, and the whole idea is can the participant be ready for learning?
Right.
I can be something. How do I, if I run a business and I look at Fast, for example, performing, how can I use what Fast has come to in my business and bring that color to my business? If I look at astrology, how can I bring that into my business? If I look at art, how can I bring that into my business? So my business and how I run my business becomes rich. Even how I think becomes rich. That's how encompassing and more holistic a person we want to equip a person.
Very interesting. Very interesting Live and Inspire episodes that you have. But it's still ongoing, right?
We took a break. We've been quite busy with our current clients.
Yeah. Or maybe you interview too many people. It's like, okay, there's no one else to talk
No,
to.
there are.
Would you still have one in line of a Christmas?
I think Christmas there will be something coming up.
All right.
We haven't
That's
decided
great.
yet.
Yeah.
But Christmas was mostly musicals. And we did so many talks and over the years, and we just realized that I think the last time when you guys performed, we just did music. The whole evening was just music.
Wow, that's great.
So I think we'll be doing it soon, but I think we'll be
Same
doing
venue as well?
same venue. It's our signature venue.
Yeah.
Starbucks Bangsar Village. It's quite fun to host it, and when I first started, I hosted it. Now I got a host to host it, which is Teresa.
Yes.
You have like a 15-person team now. Anyway, we'll take another one short break. When we return, we'll discuss more with Team Fernandez.
The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
Hey, this is Arlene.
Hi, welcome back. This is Grace.
And of course, you are still with us at Durian ASEAN, where we bring you discussion in our Durian Heat. And with us, as usual, is Team Fernandez, still discussing about Live and Inspire. So I want to go back to your other projects, because you do a lot of other things as well, right?
Yeah. It all comes under the same banner of social innovation. So there is not one project that we do is the same. Every other project that we pick up is different. So there are lots of projects that we're working on. Actually, I forgot to tell you that we actually just finished a movie.
Oh,
movie.
Yeah, we developed a movie, but we're basically marketing that movie. But we worked with.
You develop as in like you produced the movie?
We produced the movie and
now you're a filmmaker.
No, I'm not the filmmaker. There's another filmmaker on it. But what we did is Friends to Mankind initiated the movie, and Friends to Mankind is basically another organization that I'm the vice chairman of. It was founded by this guy called Dian Vimal. And Friends to Mankind, we work very closely with Friends to Mankind, so lots of projects overlap with Friends to Mankind.
Right.
So Friends to Mankind started off this new movie. We basically bought up the whole script, ran the whole production. The movie's going to be out next year in the cinemas. We got people like Zahim Al-Bakri on board. We got Azura Zainal. Some really good names on it. And what the project did was it actually opened the door for young people to come and learn about filmmaking.
All right.
Hands on.
Oh.
You know, so an actual movie, producing an actual movie. So we actually, Friends to Mankind actually took that project just for this intent.
Wow.
So the staffs are all students.
And we got people to come and learn, and people who learn how to man the camera, and you know, my team's gonna learn how to market this movie. So more opening will happen. Like, so you learn on the whole process chain. That's how we provoke learning. We provide transformation. So you learn the marketing. On the marketing side, you have a bunch of people learning. On the production side, you have a bunch of people learning. On the what do you call this, costume side, there's a different, you know. So that was our biggest project this year, actually, together with Friends to Mankind.
Besides that,
we also have this thing called Hack It series. Also, we run with Friends to Mankind, but the Hack It series is basically a project where it inspires kids to pick up life skills.
Oh.
You know, so you know there are so many graduates now finishing school, and they don't really have the life skill that.
How you define life skill, by the way?
Competency is another thing altogether, I would say. Like sometimes we do lots of hiring, and a lot of our hiring, we realize lots of graduates, how they communicate about themselves is totally not of a graduate.
Oh, you mean all those skills, soft skills,
yeah, soft
and
skills,
communication
and, you know,
skills.
So we want to build like communication skill, project management skills, there are many skills that you can do that you bring value to your workplace, or you bring value to wherever you are. And then how you take that and you make a difference with that. I think we've had so many clients we work with, and the turnover is so high because competency is not really a real thing for them. You know?
Turnover in those companies, right?
In those companies, right? Even I had turnover that, you know, people came and go.
Right.
But I think the awareness to I need to work on this, I need to build on this, and it's not really there for many youth these days. So they just shift as and when they want, and I think it's just a culture that we need to address.
The less commitment in their work.
Commitment level. And I think if you fail to give commitment at your work, you fail to commit to yourself.
And relationship as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it shows up everywhere.
And goes on.
It shows up everywhere, you know. If you how you do one thing is mostly how you do every other thing.
That's very true. Yeah.
So, I mean, in terms of projects, that's what we're doing. We're building more workshops for life skills for youth through the Hack It series. And also it's a work with Friends to Mankind. You guys should really interview Friends to Mankind, but then you might interview me again.
Like, we'll get the vice chairman
the
here.
same person we are interviewing.
but it's really a great organization to work with. We have a team there working on that. The other projects that we're working with, we're starting off Live Inspire Sweden. So Sweden's gonna be really cool because
But why Sweden?
Yeah, is it because of IKEA?
No. I think because we have friends there to work with, and I think the people there are also quite receptive to what we do right now.
That's brilliant.
We're also in talks with Live Inspires London as well. So see how that unfolds.
So it's still in discussion.
It's in discussion, but
have you done your survey? Like, I'm sure, like, probably the people there, they might have different expectation, different synergy altogether.
Yeah, we've done it.
Yeah. So how is it? How different is it from the Malaysian community?
I think from what I understand and from what we did research in Sweden, people there are really hardworking.
Oh, that's interesting.
People there are really
but I thought they work lesser hours than Malaysians.
Yeah, but the quality of hours they put in, like sometimes if you pick an organization, people's 4 hours equivalent to people's 16 hours of work.
Yep. Wow.
You know, and if you really look at how people really work at work, your peak productivity happens within 4 hours. You know, the other 4 hours at work is I go make my coffee,
chit chat,
do my discussions, Facebook, you know. So then 4 hours passes by so fast. But if you really accumulate your productivity, it's a max of 4 hours. And I think that's how they capitalize on that. In some countries or some organizational cultures.
So what do they need to be inspired about? I mean,
I think they're looking at lifestyle. How do they bring a quality of life? How do they build a better quality of life in terms of what happens after work? You know. So there's a lot of soul searching there, I suppose.
Right.
So that's why if you really look at a lot of European countries, there are more meditation centers being open, there are more yoga centers being open.
That's very true. A lot of like medication and also meditating, you know, just to find about yourself
and
after
you can
work.
see the people there will focus on quality of life, and I think that's where our product fits really well, and how we can go and evoke more of that there.
Yeah, I mean,
or at least participate with them there, you know.
I don't mean to stereotype Asian and Western again here, but I studied a little bit how it is different. Younger education, kids' early childhood education in Sweden or northern part of Europe, and compared to Asian country, is so different. They really do focus on the soft skills, communication skills, critical thinking skills. So when they grow up with that such environment, it's different. The products, the results are still different.
It's very different.
So I guess they can also implement those skills into workplace as well.
That is why only in Malaysia you're offering the soft skill.
Oops.
Oh man, don't expose me right now.
No, just kidding about it. But you're doing a lot of great work in the current times. What do you see Live and Inspire, at least in the Malaysian or in Southeast Asia context?
Right.
Are you guys expanding in Southeast Asia, or you're straight away packing bags to London and
No,
Sydney?
we're not packing. We're not going anywhere. We're just expanding.
Right.
I think we will continue to do what we do. Maybe in a more in a different way as we go on in time. In Southeast Asia, we're definitely expanding to other countries right now.
Singapore, right?
Singapore. We were going into Brunei. Let's see what doors open, and when we grow very organically.
And you don't have a marketing budget or marketing department, as far as I know?
No, we don't have a marketing, because we realize our brand should be the embodiment of what marketing is about. If you build your brand rightly, people will come to you.
For sure.
People will want to work with you. People want to build with you. People want to be part of what you do. And that's why we do the Live Inspire series, because through the series people get to understand. They may not understand exactly what we do, but they know this is a fun company to work with. This is a company that propagates or inspires growth. This is a company that knows what play is about and what holds a play. This is a company who knows how to brand, to bring play into the platform, but yet bring in a brand to sponsor it, and which also means they know how to work with corporates. In the Live Inspire series, we show how we work with corporates. We show how we work with community. We show how we work with an individual. So the work itself becomes our marketing, So, and I always tell my team, if you do your work right, that itself will sell. If you are honest at your work, that itself will sell. You don't really need to start off a marketing where someone really goes to market stuff that you do.
And companies actually approach you organically as well.
All the time.
That's really great.
We get calls every other day. And usually when the client calls us, then they're ready for it. Then we go and present, and usually everything goes through. It's less stressful. Somehow, I mean, we it's not that we don't work with targets. We do work with targets, but the more we work at what you're currently doing, the targets get hit easier.
So do you get any calls from your former companies that you work with? Oops. Like, hey, you have a great product there. Maybe you want to work with us back.
No, they actually close shop.
There you go.
And I don't know where the owner went. I think he's an American or Australian. He just left the country.
So that's the end of the story.
But that's how business thrive, and in today's globalized world, is you have to provide something that people really want and people can associate with, and something that people can feel is authentic to their lives.
Sure.
I learned one thing over the weekend actually. If you create a space where people participate, or you create a place where people can participate, there's no way you can be irrelevant to the marketplace. And I learned this from Dian Vimal, and he actually put this whole structure together about learning to participate, and that's the first fundamental rule. If you know how to participate, many things can happen. And that's basically the culture that we're building at Live Inspire. Participation.
So with that's all from us today.
Thanks so much, team.
Thank you for having me.